Shalom, shalom. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash, the barns of the elders, apostles, and great millstone, and peace and salutations unto the elect of the nation of Israel, and to you, speckled brothers, Israelites who look like the heathen nations. To y'all, I say shalom, and I also want to give a shalom to you brothers and sisters that may be listening and learning, and to all you brothers that are out there on the highways and byways, doing the work of the Lord in these last days, trying to wake up the elect. To y'all, I say shalom. I want to also mention that the Lord's name is Yahushai. The word really calls him Jesus, but that's who came and died for the nation of Israel, and who the world really calls God. His name is Yahweh. God is just a title, and he chose the nation of Israel to be his people, none else. Now, you can only be an Israelite if you are of so-called black, so-called Hispanic, and Native American descent. And I'm just coming back at y'all with another quick video on, this pagan so-called holiday known as Easter. You know, now a lot of our people may celebrate Easter, and it's also known as so-called Resurrection Sunday, which is it's not in the Bible. The word Easter is in the Bible, but it's not what you think it is. It's not it has nothing to do with the worshiping of who the world literally calls Jesus. It has nothing to do with that. You know, the way you celebrate it has nothing to do with that. It's not true as far as him being born on a Sunday. Because Sundays, based off the Gregorian calendar, that's what we use now, which is made up by man, you know. And back in the ancient world, our calendars went off based upon the moon, the moon cycle, you know. But the Lord, it don't say the Lord died on a Sunday, and the partaking of eggs being dyed and eggs being boiled, and people um having eggs be put around the yard, and them trying to go on egg hunts. That's not in the scriptures. It's all pagan. It's all a man-made tradition. And I got this depiction of the goddess, the so-called goddess of Ishtar, which basically goes back to which is Easter. But I'm gonna read it. It says Easter was originally the celebration of Ishtar, the Assyrian and Babylonian goddess of fertility and sex. It says her symbols, like the egg and the bunny, were still and are fertility and sex symbols. Or did you actually think eggs and bunnies had anything to do with the resurrection? See, exactly my point. It had nothing to do with that. It was just something that man came up with, and man wanted to get you to fall into that trap into worshiping them. They were actually worshiping Yahweh Shem Shah. This is a stumbling block to our people. Because a lot of our people, like the scriptures say, they have a zeal for God, but not according to knowledge. So they want to worship the Lord. They want to worship Him in spirit and in truth. They want to know the name. They want to be able to call upon Him. But they mix it. And Esau knows that our people like to have fun. They like to, have a good time. So they know how to throw in these different things on a so-called high holy, that's not a high holy day, but on a day that we're supposed to actually be reverencing our Lord and, taking it serious, you know. But I'm gonna get this. It says after Constantine decided to Christianize, which Constantine, he was actually a Jake. Well, a lot of people think that he was Edomite, but he wasn't. It says Easter was changed to represent, it says Jesus. It says, but as it roots Easter, which is how you pronounce Ishtar, it's all about celebrating fertility and sex. Exactly. And if it's supposed to be about a woman, and if it's really supposed to be about Yahweh Shai, what is it? What does it have to do with this woman? What does it have to do with eggs? It don't say Yahweh Shai laid eggs on that day. Like but on Easter, like I said in the Bible, it's in the book of Acts, but it refers to the Passover, the Pesach, which is in the Hebrew. I'm gonna get this Colossians 2:8. You know, it says, "Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit." Beware meaning warning. Take heed, be circumspect. It says, spoil means to, just take away your mind, destroy your mind. It says through philosophy. This is all philosophy. This is all, a way to seduce you into worshiping man, but by way of using our Lord Yahweh, which is vain to see. It says, after the tradition of men, like I just said, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Hamashiach. You see that? This is after the rudiments of men, you know? Because, and they also, in America, which is Babylon the Great, they have all these different chocolate candies with bunnies on them and rabbits and stuff like that, which bunnies don't even lay eggs. So that's another strike, that tells you that something is off with celebrating this. You know, it's off. But Jake, like I said, Esau knows how Jake want to have a good time, and they know our people is hard headed too. You know, you know all about these wicked holidays, but you don't know all about the Lord and truth and sincerity. Like keeping the Passover, which is a solemn assembly, which is the day our Lord died, and the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which a lot of these false Israelite camps they don't take it serious. They acting like they still in the world. They still, they having these these Passover parties, and it ain't about the party. You know, when we came out of ancient Egypt and we kept the Passover and stuff like that. Hey, we didn't have a good time. But when we had the Feast of Tabernacles, we didn't. It wasn't about having a good time. Not like on new moons and stuff like that. Hey, well, it's the time of feasting. You eating and stuff like that. But every single high holiday that we have, it has nothing to do with us. It's all about reverencing our Lord Yahweh Shai and the Most High Yahweh. That's it. You know. And you jakes that want to celebrate this, you want to buck up against it. Hey, you know, the Lord gonna get you. He's gonna get you. You know, this has nothing to do with the Lord. You know, this all goes back to Babylon. Babylon, like it says, the Babylonians and the Assyrians. There's nothing to this is not in the Bible at all. Right? Let's get this in I think it's Matthew chapter 15 and 8, I believe. Let's get this Matthew chapter 15 and verse 8. It says, "These people draw nigh unto me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me." You see that? See, this is the Lord, the words of the Lord Yahweh Shai. He said, "These people draw nigh unto me with their mouth." Well, what does that mean? You draw nigh unto Him with your mouth. Meaning, our people, they praise, they say, they say the name Jesus because they don't know what His real name is because of, pursuant to Jeremiah, it says, "Thou shalt discontinue from our heritage that He gave us." You know, they call on that name, and they honor Him. They say, "Oh, the Lord's got me. Oh, I love the Lord." They say good things, but they don't actually do what the Lord tells them to do. That's what it means. Their heart is far from me. Your heart is your mind. Verse 9 it says, "But in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines of the commandments of men." You see that? This is a doctrine of man. Easter, like I said, the word Easter is in the Bible, but the way you have the perception of what you call Easter is not in the Bible. See what I'm saying? Because the word Easter that's in the Bible is referring to the Passover. Which is not Easter at all. It has nothing to do with Easter. The Easter as today, which is, with these eggs being dyed and stuff like that, it has nothing to do with that. So that's why the scriptures tell us to do this in 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 15, right? Um, let me get this, 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 15. It says, "Study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth." You see that? There you go. But you can only study if the Lord reveals this to you. The Lord has to give you, the understanding. Through who? Let's get this in the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 6, I believe. Now, verse 7, it says, "Surely the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai will do nothing, but He revealeth His secrets unto His servants, the prophets." So that's how you're going to get the understanding, right? That's the only way. It's through a man teach you. The Lord has to put the spirit on an Israelite man, a so-called black or so-called Hispanic Native American man, to teach you of these things, which the Lord has done it. Preferably of the men of Great Millstone. This is what is that? The book of Acts, right? This is an account of an Israelite basically said, how should he learn except he was taught by a man? But it says he said, how can I? I'm gonna get verse 30. It says, and Philip ran thither. I think this is talking about the Ethiopian eunuch. Yep. Which it's not a literal Ethiopian. We were scattered throughout all nations of the earth. So he was from Ethiopia. It says verse 30. It says, and Philip ran thither to him and heard him and read the prophet Isaiah and said, understandest thou what thou readest? It says, and he said, how can I except some man guide me? You see that? It says, he desired Philip that he would come up and sit with him. So the only way you're going to get the true understanding is if the Lord reveals it to you. You're not going to get the understanding on your own, and you got to be a part of the elect. The Lord got to open up your mind and make you receive this, because you got a lot of our people, they know and understand that this so-called holiday is pagan, just like they know a lot of other so-called holidays are pagan. They know that it goes back to something other than what they were told growing up. They know that. My time being the truth, man, I bumped into so many Israelite, so many so-called black people and Hispanic and Native American people that know certain things, but they through their pride and through them, not want to have a bad blood with their family members, and not wanting to be at disagreement or odds with their kids and stuff like that. They keep doing it, but it's ultimately how about Shem Shah, man. It's ultimately how about Shem Shah. I'm gonna get this in the book of Jeremiah because the Lord tells us to do this. Jeremiah chapter verse 1, it says, let me get this in verse 1 says, hear ye the word which Yahweh Shem Shah speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith Yahweh Shem Shah, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. And now I brought this up because, it tells us not to follow the ways of the heathen. These Assyrians and, these Babylonians, they were heathens. They worshipped, man. They worship, Yahweh Shem Shah's creation. They worship objects. They don't worship the Lord, because he's not their God. He's only the God of the Israelites. So us as Israelites, we're not supposed to be celebrating this, We're supposed to be celebrating Yahweh Shem Shah. We're supposed to be keeping the high holy days. We're supposed to be, keeping the Sabbath, We're supposed to be doing those. We're not supposed to be celebrating no Easter. Worshiping the so-called mother goddess. Hey, this is false. This is not reality. And I brought this out also because it talks about not celebrating, Christmas. Christmas is not biblical either. But I just wanted to bring that out, and do a quick video on that. If I can get something else. If I could get this right here, this is a